Welcome to the last module of the Triathlon rules course. We've declared the para mixed relay as a new event in Triathlon. So we have the specific 12th module. And again, today with me, I have Duncan Huff. Welcome, Duncan.
I'm going to say good morning, but it's afternoon for you now, but morning for me.
So what have we devised in terms of rules for the para mixed relay? You can see the ranges for a quite short, almost like a super sprint triathlon. Eligibility rules apply in terms of age, minimum 15, because it's considered that on that year you will become 16 years of age. The principles are that we should have 4 athletes, 2 men and 2 women from each NF. But in yellow, what you can see is that we are allowing some flexibility at the beginning right now in order to have more participation. So we can have teams with only 3 athletes, in which obviously one of the athletes will repeat a leg. At least one of them has to be from a different gender from the other 2. So this athletes of the same gender cannot cover 3 segments. So as mentioned, at least the least represented gender must do 2 segments. And then we are allowing national federations to put forward more than 1 team, but at least one of those teams must have 4 athletes before they start doing some of these more flexible combinations. There must be a wheelchair athlete because we will explain a little bit more on that in the coming slides, but there are a maximum of 1 wheelchair athlete and 1 VI can be part of each team. So what has happened is that there has been a working group doing an analysis and establishing this chart that you see here, the class points and how these are added up in order to put forward a viable team. The maximum points can be 20. So no matter how you combine the different sport classes between men and women, you cannot go over that value to make a viable team. And if you have only 3 members in your team, obviously the athlete competing twice, the points in the chart for that athlete will be duplicated in order to come up with the final score of the team. Duncan, over to you.
So again, how do we send our athletes off? So the first leg should be covered by a PTWC athlete, okay? And then for the remaining athletes, it really isn't important what gender as regards the order. So whereas before in normal relay, for the able-bodied athletes, it might be male, women, or women, man. In para, yep. The only thing this is the world, PTWC needs to go first, and then you can have another woman going straight after. Yep, it's not dictated to. As regards the transition zone, each team will have its own space in the pre-transition and its own space in the transition area. And these will be marked with the race number of the teams. And the important thing is to make sure we group all the team members together.
So what happens is, in terms of how logistics work regarding the exchange zone, is that this is done in a virtual manner. So there's no physical contact between the athletes. The next athletes starting are already on the pontoon and in the water, awaiting the signal from a technical officials to go. Basically, this technical official is awaiting the signal normally via radio from another technical official that is waiting in the exchange zone for the previous athlete to complete the final run leg. This is not in the finish area. It's another area that has to be declared. Ideally, with visual to the swim start would be the best. But again, this is happening in a virtual manner. And as of right now, we are doing it through radio communication between technical officials. So as mentioned, the team members are having an in-water start, and they have to have a hand on the pontoon and or behind the start buoys if there's not a pontoon, and waiting until the signal comes through to go.
So again, as regards the actual finish itself, athletes are responsible to be in the start position. So when we have the relay exchange zone, it's up to the athletes' teams to be in the place ready for the start of the next leg. Only the athlete who finishes the last leg, or completes the last leg, is allowed to cross the finish line. However, other team members can wait for the last athlete behind the finish line, but only if approved by a TO. So again, if you're chief finish or anything along those lines, make sure you control that area effectively.
Thank you very much, Duncan. This concludes the modules for Triathlon, and thank you very much for your assistance in this educational seminars.
Thanks for inviting me along.
Good luck, everyone.